North America too. Snow is like that too. But we're going to this next game. We got Keith versus the Plume, and we got the Val versus the Guitars, and this is a rematch from the winter semifinals there, Skiff.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what type of gameplay Keith is going to be trying to incorporate here. I would like to say that Plume probably still feels confident just going off their set earlier. You got your first set win. Feeling very good about it. But I feel like the way that Keith's been playing here these last couple sets, Plume's in trouble, I would say.
Yeah, but Plume's been playing a different style that Keith hasn't played in the elimination side, right? Plume is playing like this aggressiveness with sword and gauntlets, and has actually been out prioritizing Keith's aggressiveness, which is rare, but now we're seeing Keith launch Plume into the red, a down signature comes out, and once you land a down signature, they're almost guaranteed knocked out if they're that red in the stock.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely it's been an interesting game so far, but yeah, just they are going back and forth, right? It's not like Keith's just running over Val or Plume here. But well, right now maybe. But no, Keith is definitely playing with a renewed vigor here that I think is definitely something that Plume needs to be taking note of, because look at this, just all the call outs here so far. The weapon toss, close it out. That's another stock gone. Keith, my goodness.
And it came down to all of Plume's options being used in the beginning of that. Plume used all their options, got punished, and had only one or two options come back to the ledge, and that led to the knockout. But then Plume comes in to try to rebuttal with that ground pound. But is it going to be enough to be able to change the momentum into their favor to win this game? I don't know about that.
We'll definitely see. All right, well. Okay, there we go. Gets right back down to the ground. Yeah, these Guitars have been putting in so much work for Keith so far. And Plume, yeah, just trying to get their footing underneath them.
Oh my gosh, Keith's control with these Guitars is going crazy. And this down light recovery comes in clutch, misses that side opportunity, allowing for Plume to come back. But we're seeing a lot of missed attacks from both sides, and each player is countering each other very well.
Yeah.
Right? So we're seeing Plume produce like Siley options. Keith keeps dash dancing and leading Plume into these different options. We're seeing that now. These neutral air comes in from Keith, misses the side air option. Plume misses the recovery, gets neutral air instead, but that would have been close. That lands, and that signature misses. What, Keith, did you just do?
I'm telling you, man, Keith going through this elimination bracket, going through Mickelson, going through Serenity, and Plume is just the latest obstacle in the path. And look at that, immediate switch to Hatori here. I'm sorry, it might be too late. Like, you might have come into this just a little too confident or just not as prepared as you should have been, because Keith is here. Keith is ready to play.
Dude, and that's the way to do it. And that recovery went through Plume's signature and bounced him off the bottom of that map. That's a cool way of doing it. I don't think that was his intention. I think it was more so to get back to that ledge, but it landed very, very well. And now they have Plume going back to the Hatori, which is funny to me because didn't Keith in the set they had in winners final or semifinals, I'm sorry, didn't it involve Plume losing on that Hatori?
I'd have to double check. Hang on. Yeah. It was the very first match they played, and then switched to Val and got basically 3 straight games. So beating the Val immediately and forcing him off to the Hatori, I feel like that's a huge statement here. It's a statement to what the set I think is about to unfold for us.
Yeah, it's also, I agree with you. And I think it's going to set the statement up, okay, Plume's having a rough time against Keith. His style that he was using originally against Keith's not working. And Keith's showing off that guitar ground pound very, very well off that ledge. And that pick from Plume might have not been the option. That's what Keith wants. He wants to have that advantage.
Yeah, no, here we go. I feel like Plume is just pressing some buttons at a disadvantage now, just looking for an opening here, and Keith is just eating that up every single time.
Yeah, and I'm seeing, look at Plume, look at how they're dodging right now. They're dodging so much. They're dodging early, and I think that's what Keith's been really landing on the Plume. You know, now we got Plume on the spear. The cider does come out. They might be able to get a knockout here with the dare, which they do there, but overall, the dodging from Plume, the dash dancing he's been doing has been too quick to the point where he's been able to like aggress very, very well. It's almost like they're just moving too fast and Keith's really approaching them very well.
All right, there we go. A little bit of extra damage there. All right. Yeah, right now, yeah, Keith just continues to put this pressure down. All right, Plume, yeah, Plume's getting some hits, but I think a lot of it just comes down to when Keith is just overextending a little too much, right? Just trying to add on a little bit extra when he doesn't need to. Oh my goodness, the pressure he was putting out on that off stage was just insurmountable. Plume ended up plummeting to their death.
Yeah, Plume plummeting has definitely happened. Oh, that was close, but it was a little bit too far to the right. And you're seeing Plume is like, okay, I'm going to try to, he has some sort of read against Keith a little bit, but the dare weapon throw comes in. That weapon throw is also what caught Keith off guard, if I remember, in the winter semifinals. So if you're Plume, you know, those weapon throws are vital against Keith. I didn't even think about it. He's been using a lot of weapon throws this past couple games. Maybe that might be the option he might need to do. That GC downlight recovery lands onto Keith, and now it's one stock all that sword or spear. Spear is going to be the option for Plume.
I think Spear's not a bad play here because I feel like something's kind of changed in Plume's kind of approach at this point. Whoa, okay, Keith, you're getting a little too crazy here. You gotta dial it in, buddy, because I think Plume is really just starting to find the rhythm right now, and I think that's something that Keith needs to take note of.
Well, I think Plume gets the rhythm with Hatori and then goes with Val next game and just goes crazy. I think that's what originally happened in the first set, but now Plume, he needs to win this game if they want to go ahead and win the set. I don't see a world unless Plume pops off insanely against Keith where they reverse 3-0 Keith in set or games here. Ult Cider comes in. It's close. He's going off. Oh, what did you do? Keith comes in with the neutral air and punishes Plume's aggressiveness off the ledge. Oh no!
That hurts.
That hurts so
that
much.
Hurts so much, AJ. Like,
oh no.
Oh, geez. Like,
my condolences go out.
You had that game locked. You were playing so well at the end there.
Dude.
Oh.
I feel bad, man. We're gonna feel pit in our hearts going to the rest of this set, you know, but Plume now still in the Hatori. That aggressiveness that they had, it definitely worked out, but now, you know, I don't know if Plume's gonna have the same confidence as he did the last game that he needs.
I mean, it's just one of those moments where you just gotta be like, all right, I made a bad play, it happens. I gotta just keep doing my thing.
Oh, he missed. Plume had an opportunity off that ledge too, but he did the dare too quick. He's attacking too quick and moving too quick, I think.
Yeah.
He's just doing a double dare. There we go. That lands. Okay. But see, if Plume can get the dodge, like if he can read the dodge dancing that he's been throwing out to him, that might be a really good opportunity for them. And I think now Keith's been doing it a certain way where Plume is really reading the downlight recovery lands, swaps back over to the sword weapon starving Keith. I think that's the vital part of that. And now they're both on sword. Keith gets the double neutral air, and a cider comes out. Oh,
okay, there we go. Yep, gets that first stock out of there, and you know that's what I want to see from Plume, because you made a huge mistake at the end of that last game, right? Crazy mistake, possibly set throwing, and you immediately come into this next game taking that first stock and just playing like it never even happened. And that's what you need to do as a player in those scenarios sometimes.
Yeah, he's kind of got to keep this like a step back and really going for what's confirmed and what's not. Especially at this final stocks, everything is down to the wire. And I think now we're seeing Plume have this center neutral control, and it's just controlling Keith. Can he land a recovery though? He doesn't. And Keith might get this stock knockout on the Plume because of it. He does. It all comes down to, I remember there was a quote from Faison. It's like when you give your opponent like an opportunity to come back, there's like a 30-second timer that you guys basically click in your brain that they gave themselves as an advantage from that. You know, and I think now we're kind of seeing Plume kind of feel a little bit of it, but a downlight recovery does go ahead and land. He does go ahead and take the opportunity that time, and Keith will go down into that final stock.
All right, now this is just kind of that do or don't moment here for Plume. It's just a matter of just, okay, right now you've been doing a fantastic job with the spear the entire game so far. Really kind of making Keith work for these hits, like just getting that going right there. Okay, but does get the stock right back, and now all of a sudden this is a much more even game than it was just a moment ago.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Keith bring it around a little bit. His aggressiveness is working out well, and Plume is throwing out these attacks, but they're whiffing, and Keith's really punishing on that. What Plume was doing was landing a lot of their attacks on the Keith, and that was what was getting them that. Nice little dodge read from Keith, gets the two-piece. Oh, Plume was expecting to pick up the other weapon. He's not feeling comfortable with that spear. Oh, does go ahead and get that recovery, though. He's just weapon throwing a lot. Look at him. It's catching Keith off guard. It's working.
It is working a little bit here, but also it's just like it's a mix between that and just hitting these dares. Just kind of works out for him. But they're double recovery, and that is going to be able to get him that game underneath his belt, which is definitely something he needed. Just kind of let us all know, hey, I'm still in this. I'm not out quite yet.
Yeah, and it came down to, I really think it came down to those attacks landing. You know, each attack that you miss, it gives the opponent this huge opportunity to punish you and go into combos, go into different attacks, even knockout options. So we're going to Apocalypse. We're going into this next game. And I think Plume is going to have to really work on focusing on not whiffing those attacks as much as he possibly can. Make sure all attacks he's throwing out actually land. But we're going next game on Apocalypse. And I know this is a map that we've been seeing a lot of, Skip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely been very present lately, that's for sure. And oh my goodness, Shades just back to 2 games ago where Plume goes for that ground pound off stage and just completely misses Keith.
Yeah, and now I think, yeah, Plume's gonna go back to spear. I was about to say, if he stays on that sword, that would be an interesting option. Oh, the dodge read from Keith, nice job. Yeah,
I think just a little bit more damage on Plume probably would have got that stock out of the way too. That's like Plume's gone for that like 3 or 4 times now. So like they're definitely scouting something, and I guess it was a matter of time for Keith to actually get a punish for himself.
Well, and I think if Plume is able to do it next time a little bit lower, because it lands, that attack lands so high that it might just be the option for him, right? I think also Plume's trying to consider the jump over the signature option, etc. But it just lands so high that he might have to land it a little bit lower and it'll work. But right now, ever since he missed that opportunity, Keith's been knocking Plume into the red, has a knockout opportunity here with guitars, misses the signature. And now we're just seeing them go back and forth of who's going to knock out who. It's not really anyone's favor. Right now it's in Keith because he's now has platform control.
I think what it really comes down to is, well, there we go, gets that first stock out of there. And like part of the problem I'm seeing from Keith is that when he's trying to, like, he's really trying to close out a stock, he starts throwing out SIGs when like he's trying to call something out. It's just like he misses so much because of it.
Mm-hmm. No, I can understand that completely. I mean, he's missing out on a bunch of different opportunities, and now though, okay, GC down like ground pound lands. He's going unarmed a little bit though. He's going to go back to sword v sword. I mean, Keith was doing a lot of the winning on those battles a while back. Oh, but GC down like cider lands, and Keith goes down to that second stock. We're gonna see Plume kind of figure out what they're gonna do for damage buildup. That spear has been doing a lot for damage buildup, including those neutral airs. It just has so much good like hitbox range.
Right. Okay, there we go. Trying to find some hits here. Keith definitely needs to maintain this lead here, because I feel like as soon as you let Plume kind of get going, we could very well see reverse 3-0. Like he's got to find a way to stop this momentum shift like very quickly. All right, goes to that weapon toss to the sword. Not gonna get the hit that he needs. Man, dude, this spear has been doing so much work for Plume.
Yeah, and Keith is whiffing attacks now. I'm seeing that a lot. Like, he's going for these signatures that have a lot of recovery frames, and he's whiffing these attacks, and Plume's punishing them very well. Nice recovery coming in. Misses second recovery. Keith with the counter neutral air.
Oh, okay, wow. Ends up getting that sword in the process, too. Oh, no guitars, unarmed. All right, does maintain stage control here, though.
Oh. Nice there. Oh, missed the side air option, and then Keith does go ahead and get that punish with the backward side air. But I think that platform kind of threw Plume in a little bit of a loop there. You're like, okay, well, I don't want to land on this platform. I don't want to get punished that way, but he still got knocked out. But look at this hard gameplay from Keith.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, there we go. Yep. I would say that was a nice little opening there from Keith too, calling out that air dodge and just kind of keeping that combo going. It didn't end up getting too much more outside. That sword just landed on him just barely. Oh my.
Just barely. But I'm just look at Plume though. He's really reading on Keith's misses. Look at how his whole style is around that right now. When he's been landing the attacks, it's been all on options Keith has been missing. If Keith can just hold his options against Plume, I think he wins this game. But if he keeps on getting stressed out and he keeps on dodging early, that might be an issue. Because look how he's playing. He's getting these recoveries in. Plume has not been able to do a lot outside that one attack there because he's not really missing a lot of these attack options. There you go.
Oh no,
Missed
swinging the
option,
wrong way.
gets punished. Recovery, neutral air. There we go. There, it's so close. And he leads into a signature. That's exactly what I was talking about. Plume bringing this into a game number 5 here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, definitely some crazy stuff, and a lot of that just kind of came down to just like controlling the pace and then just letting Keith throw out some moves, like you kind of mentioned before, and just getting those punishes out there, man. Like now we're in a game 5 scenario here, and Keith has definitely got to be feeling the pressure, going up 2-0 initially, and now I mean Plume is just answering back. And looking like they might end up just getting right the grand finals here. So I don't know. This is just not looking good.
This is probably one of the best matches we're going to have of the event. This game number 5 situation. Who's going to take it? I mean, we've seen Plume have this under control. He's having a rough time landing a certain attacks once he doesn't have a certain style or a certain control over Plume. And Plume is just reading it left, right, and center. And Plume's not missing a lot of the reads. Like he's not missing a lot of the opportunities on Keith at all.
All right. Flexing a little bit of that movement here a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely tell I feel like Keith's starting to take a somewhat of a more passive approach, just trying to allow Plume to just get aggressive.
Yeah, Keith's getting a little bit aggressive with these ground pounds, but that double side air by Plume does go and land on Keith. Keith is able to touch. Oh, misses that down signature. Plume now getting risky. And there's that opportunity I was talking about later that he allowed him to come back to the ledge. Extra 30 seconds-ish is going to come and play. And we're seeing Keith just kind of dash dance a lot, and Plume's just trying to bait him into different things. And look at it, like he's trying to bait him into different things. And once he misses that dare option, Keith goes for the punish. Oh, slider from Keith. Oh, nice neutral air counting Keith's ground pound. A lot of back and forth though. There's nothing like too crazy here that's like in one favor or another.
Oh no, they're both kind of just taking their time, and there we go. We can see that first stock taken out here, and yeah, 100%, he's got to be feeling this pressure right now. It's almost insurmountable at this point. Like Plume has got so much momentum in their back pocket, just on the cusp of a reverse 3-0, which honestly I did not think we were going to be seeing here the way that Keith's been playing in this elimination side.
I think it came down to the Hatori pick from Plume. I didn't expect it to work. I really didn't. And as soon as he got that change in his play style and how he was approaching and how he was landing all these different attacks, it was working. But Plume lands that ground pound and lands on the platform or on the map there, and Keith just gets the punish because Plume had recovery frames. You know, most people will ground pound and just let go of it right before it lands on the platform, but I think he just let it go too far.
Okay. Nope. There we go. Gets that little combo started. Gets a 3-piece to kind of get started here, and just chasing him down. Looks like he's kind of found his opening. Like once he knows he has Plume on the back foot, he just starts chasing him down relentlessly. Look at this damage coming out.
Yeah, Plume is attacking, like when he's in these combos, he's stressed. So his mental, it looks like he's mentally trying to just get some sort of counter, but the counters that he's throwing out weren't working at the time. But now with both players on sword, you know, they're very, very close in like health. That sword option might give Plume the advantage, but the guitars were what was messing with Plume, and Keith's having to rely a lot on sword, but picks up guitars, gets the ground pound, gets the side air, and now has the lead.
There we go. And that's how you know, like, you know, the great players from the good players is the great players know how to rise to the occasion when they're dealing with all that pressure. And right now, Keith maintaining a decent lead here. You got to try and, you know, I need him to squeak this one out just a little bit longer, try to get some extra credit as best as he can. There we go. That's a little bit of something.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit now. Neutral light recovery comes in. Plume didn't. Oh, Plume punished that very well against Keith, but Keith gets GC's side signatured to get knocked out, and that's one of those attacks where you have to make sure you land it, and they did. It's one stock all. You're seeing Keith now having to approach from the air and trying to be like this aerial aggressive style player, and so Plume's thrown off. Now we got Plume in the orange. Keith's starting to pop off. Look at him go.
Yeah, Keith's looking for it, man. That's a lot of damage getting going on here too, and it's like all of a sudden it's like he just knows what he's able to get away with, and as we can see, finally landing that side sig that has just eluded him so long, and Plume just gonna go flying to the left side there, and Keith finds a way to close it out without letting this get too far ahead of him. My goodness.
Yeah, and if we go through the replays here.